Hello and welcome to another Mad Mike Makes video. Now today we are going to be looking at a preview of a machine that I'm busy building, and it is this horizontal mortising machine. Now this mortiser is a working prototype and I'm busy sort of trying to work out all the bugs. There are some things currently that work and some that don't. I'm going to be doing a demo at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Now if you'd like me to make a video of the entire build, because I am going to be remaking this machine or rebuilding it once I've worked out what works and what doesn't work. So if you'd be interested in me making a video like that, let me know down in the comments below. Now of course also subscribe and hit the like button if you find this video helpful in any way. Right, so it's a very basic setup, and I've actually used draw runners, and I'll run through this a little bit later, but the way I had this set up before was I had two draw runners flat, and the problem with draw runners is that they have a little bit of play in the vertical of it. If they're laid flat like this, there's a little bit of play this way, or if you're looking at it this way, there's that little bit of play, and that's obviously because when you have a draw, if it's not perfectly sized, you have a little bit of leeway in order to make the draw run properly. So so I had to actually change this setup a bit, and I had to put one draw runner that way and one this way to stop that up and down movement, which is obviously you don't want that because your slots just wouldn't be accurate enough. So that's that way. And this X, let's call it the X-axis and the Y-axis. On the X-axis, I didn't worry too much about that sort of movement, because when this base moves up to the vertical face of this piece of timber which holds the router, I kind of pretty much push it all the way up to get the depth of the cut. So that didn't worry me too much. So that's actually fine, just having these set up like you would a normal draw, and that runs perfectly. Now looking in the machine from this angle, something that I still have to develop and that I'm in the process of developing is some kind of stop mechanism that would allow travel of this base, and currently unfortunately that fence is in the way, so that it would secure this piece of timber and create a stop, and this would have to be done on both sides of the machine, so that once I set up the piece of timber, and I'll just show you that a little bit later in the demo, that I can actually control the width of the mortise. Alright, so looking at this base that will hold the workpiece, all I've done is just cut some round holes, drilled some round holes for these T-nuts and these handles that just secure the fence in place. There is a rebate just underneath so that the T-nuts can slide in there. So this can slide up and down. Once you've squared off the fence, however, and locked it into place, you shouldn't really need to move it again, because you'll have some adjustability in those stops that I was talking about a bit earlier, to be able to get the cutter exactly in the position where you want it. So you can actually just use those. You'd be able to use those stops to position your cutter. Now this is the vertical adjustment for the cutter. And for you guys that have watched some of my other videos, you will know that I have a little bit of an obsession with micro adjustment, and that is just to be able to dial in the perfect height or depth or whatever it is that you're looking for. So one of the things I'm going to have to make is some kind of micro adjustment for this, so that I can kind of pop this into the more or less position where the cutter needs to be, and then kind of micro adjust up or down from there to get the mortise in precisely the center of the timber. Now this machine can also do tenons, but I'm going to play around with it a bit and see how clean a cut I can get on these tenons. So we might have to actually do a sort of a shoulder cut on the table saw to get a clean cut, and then actually hog away the material on the tenons. But there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do mortise, mortise and tenon joins quite easily on this machine. As you can see, I've just rigged up a clamp as a stop for now, and I've used the extent of the runners, so the furthest point that the runner will go to for the stop on this side. I've also swung that fence around into that slot and then just secured this with one of these sort of quick clamps. So let's give it a shot, and let's see if we can get this mortise and tenon to at least fit semi-decently in any case. Right, so in closing, what I found was that the mortise that was cut was actually 10.5 mil when I measured it with a vernier, and the cutter is 10 mil, so I'm not sure where I'm getting that half a mil discrepancy, but certainly in future what I would do is when I'm cutting the tenon, I would cut it slightly oversized. I cut it at 10.34 as you saw on the measurement. But knowing what I know now, I would certainly, make that tenon slightly thicker, just slightly thicker than 10.5. and then whittle it down from there to fit perfectly into the mortise. So even though this is a great mortise and tenon join, I would say that it's not good enough if you're going to be making things like tables and chairs, things that take that sort of pressure and wear and tear. So all in all, I hope that you actually enjoyed this video and that you got something out of it. And I hope you consider making one of these if you're a woodworker. As you can see, they're not difficult to make. And definitely, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon if you would like to receive notifications of future videos. So I thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.